Hi everyone, welcome to the Martial Way. Today my special guest is Sensei Wesley Jansen of Holland. Sensei Wesley has competed and placed on the podium of many tournaments across Europe, and after years of training and fighting, he now has his own school. Most recently, he also began collaboration with Sensei Darren Stringer, who you heard in the last podcast, with karate tips and tricks, where they uniquely pair up their digitally offering training tips based on all their years of experience in tournaments and teaching. So it's actually a really big honor for me to have Sensei Wesley on the show. Welcome, Sensei Wesley.
Thank you for having me.
Us.
Us, as you said, it's an honor for you. Well, it's a very big honor for me to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like before, like Darren, obviously, Darren and I go back a ways, and then I saw him doing this the tips and tricks thing, and I saw you there. So I was asking Darren, "Who's this guy?" And he starts telling me about you. And then I checked out your videos, and as I was mentioning to you earlier on, I was really blown away. Your technique is amazing, man. I love your style, the way you move is so dynamic. Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a big compliment, and you don't always know what to say when people give you compliments, but
Yeah,
it's just thank you.
you're a talented man.
Yeah, apparently I work hard for it though, but
And we'll get into that for sure. And actually,
definitely.
so for people who perhaps don't know you and some of the people listening on here, just a little bit of background on yourself, and then we'll get into like how you started and stuff. But even just currently where you are and anything you share. Sorry, my dogs are running through the house. That's the
I've got
glories of at home.
I've got one. I've got one over here. The one's lying down quietly right now. But I understand what you got.
Yeah.
For the people who don't know me, I've been doing karate for over 25 years right now. Getting 30 this year, so I was quite young when I started off. I started my own dojo 6 years ago, and always trained at one of the top instructors in Holland, where I was very pleasurable to see most of the world. Never been to Canada before, so maybe that's the reason we've never met before. But
You'll come someday, or I'll meet you there.
I was thinking that, yeah. And otherwise, you can always come to Holland.
Yeah. So when did you get started in Kyokushin, and how? Like, how did
Um,
that whole? You must have been quite young. So what? Why Kyokushin, or it just happened to be karate?
no, it was quite funny. It was quite funny because I always wanted to do speed skating on
Oh,
the ice,
interesting.
because it's a big sport in Canada as well, but
Yep.
also in Holland. We got some great teams there, and I actually wanted to do that, but my uncle was a friend with my teacher who I used to train with. So then after I had my swimming degree, he said to me, "Just come over, Wes. I think this is something for you." And actually, the first time I did that, it was I was a 4-year-old little boy, walked in there with a Bruce Lee gi on, not even a proper gi, but a Bruce Lee kung fu thingy, and I was sold at the right moment. It was, I knew it was for me.
What was it about it?
I can't even remember anymore. It's just the atmosphere when you enter the dojo, the discipline, the respect, the hierarchy, the I don't know, the brotherhood. It was
Yeah.
from the moment I started I was like, yeah, I think I found my sport, and I've never left it. So.
Yeah. And around when did you start competing?
In Holland, you can start competing at a very young age.
Mm.
The tournaments are from 6 year old, but I had my first fight when I was 5, and I think I was approximately 18 kilograms. They didn't even want to let me fight because the guy who organized the tournament, he was like, "No, man, he's too young, and he's too light," because the lightest was like 25 kilograms, and I was like, no, I trained for this. Probably was training for like a few months or something, but I was like, yeah, I need to do this. I need to do this, and so it all started there.
That's awesome. That's the category I fight in now.
Ah, yeah, the under 25.
Those 5-year-old
Fantastic.
kids, man.
Yeah. How are you getting on there?
Yeah, I have my ups and downs.
Oh, you can win them all.
Yeah, that's right. What about full contact? How old were you when you got into that?
No, it was full contact
Whoa,
because
what? At 5?
yeah. In Holland is obviously it's with like a with a helmet on
Right,
and
yeah.
gloves and shin pads and
So we do
very
that.
very protected.
We do that here, and even though it's like you said, it's full contact, they consider it semi-contact because you're wearing the headgear. So that goes to the age, I think in Canada, I think it's 18, where then you transition over where it's nothing.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same over here in Holland. From 18 years old, you're an adult, and then it means you
Yeah,
can do full Kyokushin rules.
yeah.
But well, when I was a little boy, there wasn't as many rules. It was still, you know, every time you got kicked in the face or kicked in the head, you got a wazari or a full point.
Right.
But we at that time could still kick straight to the face and make knees and everything we wanted to do.
Oh,
So.
wow.
Yeah, I kind of tried everything I saw because I was I was traveling all over the world, seeing big tournaments, see big fighters, and just tried to copy that.
Well, the Dutch have a reputation.
Yeah, don't know if that's good anyway. But,
Oh, it's good. And
yeah.
have you ever been actively involved at all in kickboxing?
Yeah, I had a few fights,
Yeah.
a few in the juniors, and I had a new like a C class fight.
Mm,
I do train it. I train it from 6, I think it was, because the dojo I was training at, it was also teaching kickboxing.
I see.
So I started off with it quite early as well. But I just didn't really like to compete in it because it's such a different atmosphere. It's such a different way of like a tournament in karate. Everybody's respectful and stuff like that. But in a kickboxing, I just don't really like it. I really like the game. Don't get
Right.
me wrong, because the kickboxing, I love it. It's a very tactical game, but it wasn't for me at that time.
Yeah, and a lot of people are, I find, like that as well. Especially people who come from more traditional martial arts, when they get into and MMA as well, where they're that lack of yeah, all
Respect and
the
all. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there are people who do bring it in there, and in UFC, obviously, you have people like George St. Pierre or whatever.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but for the most part, yeah, it's more about tearing down your opponent verbally and trying to
Yeah,
hype it
yeah.
all and all that stuff.
Don't get me wrong. I find it very enjoying to watch like a guy like McGregor because he's an
It's
amazing
entertaining.
fighter as well. But it's entertaining indeed. But it's just not for me. I just,
Yeah.
I like to walk around in a tournament, either when I was fighting or still at this time, just walk around there, have a little chat with everyone,
Yeah.
become friends, because that's what tell my students always, just to go in there, have fun, make friends, because it's karate's not going to bring you anything else. We're not going to make big bucks out of it. Just friendships for life.
Yeah. How big is Kyokushin in Holland? Like I know obviously kickboxing it's a mecca for kickboxing but I mean Kyokushin obviously influenced it as well, Dutch style kickboxing. I'm just wondering now how popular is Kyokushin?
That's a very good question. It's not as popular as it should be, but I don't think it's anywhere near. It's quite a lot of people doing it, and there's a lot of organizations, which is which is too bad. But I still think a lot of people are involved within Kyokushin. It doesn't really matter which organization they are, as long as they wear the gi and have the sign on it. It's always good. But yeah, it's quite big, but it should be bigger.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I'm doing this is trying to promote it and help it grow.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. And you compete in kata as well?
I'm sorry, what
You,
did you say?
sorry, you competed in kata as well?
Yeah, I've competed in kata as well. I've always been a big fan of just to be good in every aspect of karate. A fair few of my role models have been very good in all the aspects of karate, which is for me very important.
Me too.
So I've always done and competed in the kata. Won a fair few tournaments in that as well. Never had the opportunity to compete in the World Championships, but maybe that's for later.
Hey, you're a young man.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and I'm not fighting anymore, so maybe I can focus on kata now.
Yeah. Well, I knew that if Darren was working with, because Darren, I have so much respect for that. I mean, he's like I said, he's that all rounder. He's just as good in kata as he is in kumite. So I knew if he had so much respect for you, that obviously then you must come from a similar ilk. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing about that is because when I was a young guy, he was a big role model for me because he was an amazing karateka in
Mm,
fighting, in kata, in kion, in everything he does. Because in clicker, the semi-contact version of fighting, he's been amazing as well. And there's a fair few other people who I've always looked up to and kind of committed myself to be as good as they were, or always try to be a little bit better. But
yeah.
that's what we've always been striving for. And now we've been friends for ages, and it really helps me out. But yeah, I can still remember him fighting in like the adults when I was a young boy and screaming for him. So yeah, that's really funny. Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
And so, what made you? So what kind of championships have you won? I mean, I've looked through some of the stuff over the past week that you've done, but maybe you could just tell the viewers and listeners about some of the tournaments that you've competed and placed in.
Yeah, yeah, I've competed in a fair few tournaments. I've never been placed in a world tournament, unfortunately. I've had some podium places at the Europeans, at the Diamond Cup, which is a big tournament in Western Europe, always organized by Shin in Belgium. The British Open, I've competed in there for years, which was my favorite tournament always. And I was very glad to have two podiums there in 11 and 12, 2011 and 2012. I won the Valencia Open, the
Hmm.
IFK Spanish Open. I've won the Swedish Open, which was a European Cup in 2010. I have always been fighting and training for IFK, but when I started my own dojo, I couldn't be in there for just several reasons. And then I went to Kyokushin,
Okay. Yep. Yep.
where Cameron Quinn is from, and I've had the pleasure to meet him as well.
Mm.
And I've been fighting in the All Japan Open from Kyokushin, and I came into the last 16, which was open weight. Was pretty proud of that as well. And I think there's a fair few tournaments I've been competing in, and had some good fights.
So, was that your proudest achievement, or what has been your proudest achievement in tournament wise?
Ooh, yeah, that's a nice question. I think my BKK podiums were two of my proudest ones. Winning the Swedish Open, I was very proud of that, and fighting in the Japan Open and also in the Yamber Cup. I fought there twice. Didn't get placed, but it was amazing to do that.
Just the experience of it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy experience, but I loved it.
Yeah. What was so cool about it?
Well, yeah, the thing is, you get invited by the Russian organization. The only top 16 fighters could be in there
I see.
in each weight, and then you just travel from whatever country you're from. You travel to Moscow, and from Moscow you go with a private jet to Siberia.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah, I've been there with a fair few of the Dutch fighters and a fair few of the English fighters as well, and we were the only ones next to all of the Russians fighting there and competing there, and it's crazy because the sun never goes down right there because
Mm.
it's 60 kilometers from the Arctic, and yeah, it's just amazing because there's nothing there except for like a really, really big tournament hall, and it was crazy
Yeah, it
fighting
sounds pretty
there.
surreal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was because you get in the bus, you can't go outside by yourself because well, they don't tell you why, but when you look outside, you obviously know the reason why because it looks very poor over there, and then
Uh,
normally in Holland or in Europe, you will see a big sports hall and like a big banner, and you see any other sports except for karate, and there it's the complete opposite. So
I wonder
we
why
we've
that
been
is.
I don't know. It's just it really lives there. It's like a very very big sport in Russia.
Oh my God, yeah, I know. And they've been for the last few years dominating a lot of different organizations. I mean, it started to change a little bit in the last while, different organizations, but for a lot of years, Russians are killers.
Most years they were unbeatable.
Yeah.
It's
Why
just,
do you
yeah,
think
it's
that
crazy.
is? What is it about? Is it the way they train? Is it in their blood? Is it or a combination of everything?
I think it's a big combination of everything. It's just, there's so many talented people, so many people doing it,
Big
and
pool. Yeah.
a very big pool. But also, they've been training in a different way than most of us been doing,
How
and
so?
well, they've thought about it a little bit more. I think because the guys, they're very smart, and they know every fighter. They know all of their weaknesses. They really focus on the top 10 guys who will be on a tournament as well. They included not only karate training, but like the Russian wrestling, athletics, and all sorts of stuff, and that will get you strong. It will get you to places, and I think that's the main reason, besides all of the other reasons, why they've been better than most of the world at the time.
That's an interesting take. I mean, I've heard a lot about, again, like that big, large pool of people. So obviously, when you start narrowing that down to the top, whatever number, you're obviously going to have the cream of the crop that are going to be very talented. But then some of the other aspects that you're just talking about, the focus that they put in analyzing fighters and stuff like that. Because yeah, you don't see that as much around. I don't know what it's like where you are, but here it's like you go to a tournament and you don't even know who you're going to get, and you're probably not going to know that guy anyway.
Yeah, obviously, like back in the days, it would have been different,
Mm,
in a way different way as when I grow up. But of course, with social media and stuff, you you get to know a lot of people, and you can see a lot of people fighting in YouTube and stuff.
mm.
But the way they do it is just it's a very very good way.
You mean their fighting style or the way they train?
The way they train, and obviously, like the fighting style is quite, for the most, is quite similar, because they're very strong fighters,
Yeah.
and they really really good fitness, really good stamina, really good toughened bodies. But just the way they look at a fight, and the way they train for a fight, and the way they go for a tournament is it's a big difference in the rest of the world. And maybe that's because they get some sort of payment or some sort of sponsorship from out of their country as well, because
Right.
over here in Holland, over there in Canada,
Yeah.
we still got to work besides what we do right now, and we can't train 24/7. And not all of them in Russia can do that, but there's a fair few good fighters who can.
Yeah, and when you can do that and devote all that time to it, I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to pay off. Have you adopted any training principles that you took from those guys at all?
Yeah, yeah. I think when was it? I think 2012, maybe earlier on, 2008 or something. It's quite a long time ago. There was a junior world tournament in Great Britain, and then at that time, Dmitry Savelyev,
Hmm.
a big Russian fighter, he was given a session. For top guys in Crawley Dojo by
Hmm.
Dave Bickle, Dave Bickle, and he invited him, and he was teaching us, and I think the first 2 hours was mind blowing. We were doing all sorts of stuff we've never done before, like tumbling and all sorts of acrobatic moves, and body weight training methods, and
Oh.
it was fantastic to do that, because you I was like, wow, it really opened something up for me. And obviously in the years after that, we've evolved as well,
Yep.
and we use that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and you see it now. I mean, I actually did a article a few months back on the evolution of fighting at the World Tournament. and you see it, like you can see the evolution of fighters over the years, and you can see the ones who have now started to adopt other training methodologies, or perhaps being influenced even by other fighting styles. You see things, people borrowing stuff from more that sport blitz karate, or could be from a taekwondo kind of thing. So it's definitely
Yeah.
evolving. Do you, I
Yeah,
mean, do you
yeah,
feel
that's
that?
what I did as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I did as well. Because my teacher back in the day, he was like he used to be a top fighter for the Dutch squad. His name is Antonio da Graça, and he used to be quite a big fighter in the lightweights. And then there was all we was always training in one sort of way, but I was like, some things just didn't work out for me. When I was 15, 16 years old, I went to a school for sports therapy and stuff like that. So I learned a little bit of that, and I saw some other bits. So I tried to use that in my training, and went across the world to just train at several dojos with several people, and take the best out of every bit I was training. And it got me where I am right now. But yeah, there's been a big evolution on fighting. If you look at the old school world tournaments, there were a lot of fighters, but we can sort of say a lot of the fighters weren't as good as many of the fighters you see right now in a technical way.
Yes.
Because those guys were mental. They were just going
They're
and
killers.
yeah, killers, mentally crazy. But the technique was a lot less technical than what you see right now. So
Yeah, it was more that traditional.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just one punch knockout and just
yeah,
go
yeah.
go for
It's a
it,
gimme. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just like that. And when you see, and that's some nice discussions always. When people who were fighting in the 80s, they were like, yeah, but there were like 100 people in my category. And then I was like saying, yeah, but there's 24 right now in my category, but all 24 of them, they could be a champ. So that's it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh, so yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And what kind of, so you're still train, are you, so you said you're semi-retired or from fighting, or is there
No,
going to
no,
be another one, or are you done?
no, I'm not semi-retired.
You're done.
I'm done fighting,
Okay.
and that's just not because I was tired of it. Because to be fair, I love it the most. It's the best thing, and it's the best feeling to do it,
Yeah.
to train for a tournament, and to be on the tournament and feel the atmosphere and feel the shivers in your body when all the countries are lining up, and the music and the opponents and the sweat and everything. It's just I love it. But there's so much going on. I've got a dojo for myself for the last 6 years right now. I've got a really busy job. I've got a wife, a little daughter whom I love very much, and I've been doing it for so many years, and I felt that I couldn't dedicate myself just only to the fighting, because when I was going into preparation, it always took 12 to 16 weeks of proper preparation for a tournament, and then just all of the time goes in there. And my daughter is nearly 4 years old, and I just didn't want to be there when she was going to bed, or when we were having dinner. It just made me feel like I think I've done enough. I've been being a top fighter for the last 15 years, and maybe it's time for the others right now.
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to ask you that, when you were preparing those tournaments, how did you balance that? How did you balance your life, career, family, and still prepping, as you said, for up to 12 weeks for a tournament? How difficult was that?
Yeah, very difficult, and there's the evolution as well, because when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, and really going into it, I had nothing, just training,
Right.
going to school. I had the keys of the dojo, so I could train in the mornings, I could train at the evenings, and just had to do a little bit of work, but that's it. And then you get older, by the way, and you get a family, and then you you
That
get a
life
proper
thing gets
job,
you.
and then you're like, oh, this is quite hard. So you have to plan and stuff like that. And it's hard, but my wife, she's been very supportive for me all the time, and I love to see my little kid there running around when I'm at a tournament. But it's very hard because the job I have it takes a lot of time, and then also preparing my own fighters and teach the not only fighting but also for gradings and stuff like that. It was just too many, and I thought, maybe go out with one more bang, enjoy it one more time, and I did at the last British Open. So it's been enough.
And injury free?
Injury free, yeah.
That's good.
To be fair, I only had 2 really big injuries. When I was fighting in the Swedish Open in 2010, I broke my thumb in the first bout. So I was like, yeah, come on, I'm in Sweden right now, so tape it up or go on. I fought 3 more fights with that and won the tournament, but then I was out for quite a few weeks because they had to put some pins on my thumb as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was a big injury, and then the World Tournament, the IFK World Tournament in 2013, I was in full preparation, and the last 4 weeks I don't even know what happened anymore, but something happened, and my knee was busted at that time, and they took an MRI, I think it's called. Yeah, yep. They took an MRI, and my ACL was ripped off.
Oh.
It was gone. Yeah, so I had to revalidate of that. Revalidate, is that right?
Rehabilitate.
Right word? Rehabilitate.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just sometimes find words. I had to rehabilitate for 9 months, and
so you had surgery on it?
Yeah. They took a bit of my hamstring and fixed it with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was wondering because sometimes they use cadaver and stuff, so I wasn't sure what they used with you.
No, they took my my hamstring because I was still saying I wanted to go on with fighting, right. And when they use the dead tissue, it might not be as healthy as when it's from your own body.
And how's it been? How's it now?
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Really, you're lucky.
Yeah. It's been good. I had a really good time. It was a hard time. Don't get me wrong, because I couldn't compete at the World Tournament. I couldn't compete while I was very fit at that time. But 12 months later, I was back in the game again, and I've never had any big issues on it anymore.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
that's really good.
There's only 2 really big injuries which kind of made me not fight in big tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good. All right. Yeah. And what made you decide to step over to the teaching side of it? I mean, because you still have a full-time job, so obviously you have a lot of passion for it to dedicate still time to give back in that way.
Yeah, I just want people to do karate, and if they if they do it with me, I'm very pleased with that. But I just want as much people to enjoy the fantastic sport we do.
So what is it about karate and Kyokushin, obviously specifically, that's got you? So you're now 30, you said?
Yeah,
30.
Nearly.
You competed on all this stuff. You've made all these accomplishments in it, and you still seem so passionate about it.
But that's what it is. That's what it is. It's just, it gives you some sparkle. It gives you some fire, and it really, really, really gives you something extra. It's nearly indescribable. Every time you put your gi on, every time you see a lot of people doing the same thing that you love, it's amazing. I don't know what it is. It's
hard to put in words. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's your focus in your teaching? Are you equally, because you probably are, because you're talking about you really like the Kihon, Kata, Kumite, all the aspects of it. Do you try to push that across to your students?
I wish I could do that as much as I've always been doing that, but most of the time I've been busy with fighting stuff, to be fair. It's just there's so much to do, and there's so much to to do within karate. And I've been very fortunate that it's not only my dojo. It's I do it together with my mom. She's a third then as well.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. She started later than me, but she's been very enthusiastic about
That's
karate
awesome.
as well.
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah. Her name is Conchita. A fair few people know her as well, and she's been competing in a few tournaments as well. And the passion we both have is amazing for karate. But the thing is, she got a hip injury, and she got 3 or 4 big surgeon operations on it. She's got a new hip already.
She does.
Yeah. They replaced it, and she can't do a lot of fighting stuff. So she does, in our dojo, she does the most theoretical stuff. So like Kion and Kata.
Right.
So I can focus on most of the fighting stuff. So we try to find a balance, but it's like I think if we gotta put it in percentages, we're doing approximately 70% of fighting stuff and 30% of Kion and Kata. Mm-hmm. Which is not perfect, but there's a lot to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things actually about Kyokushin I wanted to ask you. Actually, I'll park it just for a second because I just wanted to say with the hip thing, I hope she's doing well. Science has advanced so much, even like you talked about your knee. So I hope her hip's great. Judd Reed. He's got his hips replaced. Nicholas
it's a funny
Pettis.
thing. A lot of the big guys have hip replacements, and they still alive and kicking.
Man, Pettis is doing CrossFit every day. It's crazy.
Isn't it? Yeah, he's still a very fit guy. And if you look at if you look at Shi and Judd, he's still doing his bits as well. Because I think it was 2 years ago I did a fair few rounds sparring with him in a seminar, and. He can still kick, so
yeah, it's impressive.
Everything works there. So
yeah, Judd's a very special guy. He's a good friend. I love him. So just to go back to the when you were talking about there's so much to learn. So one of the critiques I've heard a lot of people talk about Kyokushin is the fact that we have so much kata, especially for a style that doesn't focus so much on kata. I mean, very few people that are all-rounders like yourself and Sensei Darren. Usually you'll have somebody who gravitates more towards either kumite or the kata. But there's just so much material. There's so many katas. And that's not even including, we don't in Kyokushin get too much into bunkai or any of that facet of it as well. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's too much material?
No, because that's one of the beautiful things about it, because there is a lot to do, which also means there's never going to be a session where you have to do the same, or there's never going to be a moment where you have to do the same. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of focus on, as you say, the bunkai and if you look at the IFK system, which is a fantastic system where we have the syllabus and like the build up to your first dan. It's I think it's the best way you can do the build up for being a senpai and being a role model within karate. But I don't think there's ever enough to learn, to be fair, because it's lovely and all of the aspects and all of the bits in karate you can do. You can do it in so many different ways and so many different levels and so many different depths of it.
Yeah, my own sensei talks about that. Sensei Steve Fogarasi. He talks.
Amazing kicker he is as well.
Oh my God! he's got amazing technique. I hope you get a chance to come over sometime and
hopefully.
But he says the same thing. Basically, there is a lot of material, but there's enough material to cover your lifetime as well. I mean, you're not always going to be able to compete. You're not always going to be able to do kumite and fight. But there will always be movement there through kata, through analyzing the movements and the kihon and things of that nature that could take you into the rest of your life.
Well, and that's what I always try to tell my students and the people who I teach. not everybody is like a big talent who can do and kata and be good at kumite and be good at everything. So sometimes you've got to focus, and if you want to be at the top in kata, you have to really focus on that. And if you want to be at the top of fighting, you really have to focus on that. And if you, I don't know, if you want to be at the top of the grading, you got to really focus, and that means if you want to be very good at kata, that means for a bit of time you can't be focused in doing a lot of fighting stuff, because if you want to be good at the sport, the kata, and to compete in tournaments, you got to focus on that, and that's what's hard for a lot of people to be focused, because everybody wants to be good at everything, but you can't always be good at everything.
Yeah. And also, like, I would love to. Well, one of the videos that you guys did recently, when you were breaking down Sushi Ho and using it, some of the pieces and transitioning into fighting principles. I'd love to get your thoughts on that as well. Like, because you do, again, the negative portion of like, oh well, kata is useless. We don't use it anymore because of the way the techniques are. We don't break down the bunkai, and perhaps it's not applicable for 2020 like it was when it was first developed. But there are, I believe, so much in kata that is useful. And one of the things I mentioned, sorry, and ramble for a second, but one of the things I was saying to Sensei Darren the other day, which really blew me away when I in person when I trained with him, was he had such clean technique. He was so explosive, and even when he was doing kumite, he looked like he was out of a movie. Like it was just very clean, and so I wanted to ask him about that. And he was alluding to it. Yeah, all the training he's done in Kihon and Kata has perhaps influenced that. So I'm just wondering, is it perhaps the same for you at all?
Yeah, I do think that doing all parts of and all aspects of karate makes you better in anything you do.
Hmm.
But I don't always think that you can apply everything.
Right.
If you take out like all of the same techniques, and if you look at kata and all the movements you do in kata, you can use that in fighting. But yeah, maybe a kakegiri or a yokogiri isn't used as much, and it's definitely not as effective as a maigiri or maybe a mawashigiri or an ushirogiri within knockdown fighting.
Hmm.
But yeah, it can still be very useful when you maybe need it in the streets or as a bunkai thing. But you have to change some things when you're going to apply it into fighting as a sport, as knockdown fighting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think you can use everything if you try to look at it in a different way. Because if you look at it the way they did in the 60s, 70s, 80s, yeah, the time changed. Karate has evolved, so maybe some things aren't as usable as when they were in the 80s.
Hmm.
So you just have to find a new way to use it right now,
Yeah.
which just use
Yeah.
the imaginary.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about earlier, like the fighting has evolved and the sport of fighting has evolved. So I don't see any reason why kata can't evolve as well. I don't know. We're so fixated on keeping it the same way they had it like 100 years ago or 200 years ago, whatever the case may be, when it was developed for a very, very different time. It's hard for me to believe that those people didn't think that was going to evolve as well.
That's funny as well, because when you say that, I see a lot of the older Kyokushin guys saying, "Yeah, we gotta do it like this, and you gotta grab somebody's stick from a horse and drag him out." Like, the only way that people are gonna believe you is if they got some mental issues or something. Because if you tell that to a kid right now, like a 8, 9 year old kid in a dojo, and it's like, yeah, I'm a guy on a horse is attacking me with a stick. I think he's gonna laugh at me. So you gotta, he's gotta think this guy in his white suit is crazy, man. What's he talking about? But if you look at it in a different way, if you try to find a creative way of thinking, then it's very usable
Yeah,
in bunkai and stuff like that. But you just got to change the story. You
right,
just gotta
exactly.
change the story.
Yeah, the narrative changes with time. Yeah,
It's very true.
yeah. Do you find that? obviously you've been in this your entire life, pretty much. You said you started when you were 6 months or something.
Yeah, nearly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How has Kyokushin influenced you outside the dojo?
Oh,
Has it had a positive or negative? It can be as well, but how has it? We'll start with positively affected you outside, whether it's
yeah.
work, life, whatever the case may be.
I can't really think of a negative thing, to be fair.
Yeah,
It always teaches me to, just to keep on going, even if it's hard.
yeah,
It
perseverance.
always, yeah, it always gets you to do everything you do as perfect as you can. It's I think maybe I would have been in a very different state if karate wasn't there for me, because
Mm,
karate was always there for me. That's the thing.
right.
In very hard times when I was a little bit younger, it was there for me. It was the only thing that was always there for me. So it was. I'm very glad and thankful for karate that it contributed so much for my life.
Was there ever a time that you thought, too much, I'm not doing it anymore? Did you ever go through any lows in your karate journey?
Well, I've had times, because the dojo where I was training was like a dojo where we always had to work so hard and always had to fight for our spot, even if
Mm,
you were the only one. And there was only one lightweight, but still you gotta work extremely hard to be that one lightweight. Um, but that gave me some mental strength as well. But there were times where I was thinking, come on, man, is this really necessary? And maybe you shouldn't do it like this. But I've never had a low where I was thinking, or I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to stop, because
yeah.
it was always there for me. Because I've had quite a difficult time when my father said to me he didn't want to see me anymore.
Oh,
And then I could always rely on karate, and I could always fall back on karate. And obviously my mom was always there, but it's just, yeah, karate was always there.
yeah,
Kyokushin was always there.
yeah. How old were you when that happened, if you don't mind me asking?
9 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, and at that time, it's just like you can't say anything about it. It's just a message
yeah.
which was brought to me. And then at that time, obviously, it was extremely tough to go from a happy family to just by myself and my mum. But then at that time, I could always go to the dojo and train. I could always look in the mirror and train. I could always train. I could always train. So yeah, it really affected me in a very positive way.
Yeah, obviously, and it sounds like it, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually as well.
Uh,
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, did you guys ever get in contact again?
no, no, no,
Mm,
we haven't. No, but it is what it is.
it's life. I know. We all have
Yeah,
our
yeah.
stories, for
Don't
sure.
really want to see him now anymore.
Well,
That ship has sailed.
yeah. Well, yes, exactly. Do you have any? What are your hobbies? And do you have hobbies and interests outside of Kyokushin?
Well, I like the fighting game, to be fair. So everything which involves people bashing each other is it's extremely lovely. I really, really, really enjoy driving my motorcycle.
Oh, what do you have?
Yeah, an R1.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's like it's really amazing. It just
Yeah.
just empties my head. So I really like that. Spending time with my family, with my dog. I've got a big wolf dog.
Oh, really?
And yeah, yeah, it's amazing just to go outside, see him play and stuff like that, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
So no extreme things. I don't like to really do that, and there's not a lot of time except for all that I'm doing already.
Yeah. Which is a
I
lot.
really enjoy to watch UFC though. It's just amazing. Yeah,
Do you? Who's your?
yeah,
Do you have a favorite fighter right now?
yeah. I like Sabit Nurmagomedov. I
Me too.
really like him. Yeah,
Love. He's my favorite fighter right now.
yeah. His techniques is fabulous, fabulous. It's amazing. I'm a Conor McGregor fan. Just he's the package. And I think the best fighter of all times within the UFC must be John Jones.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and I've always
Uh,
liked Bas Rutten.
Yeah, oh my God, you gotta love
Yeah, yeah,
Boss.
yeah, yeah. He's amazing. Yeah, he's
Oh my
amazing.
God, that
Yeah,
guy cracks me up. Everything he
yeah.
does, it's
He's,
just
he's he's crazy. I follow him on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and he shares a fair few fits every week. So yeah, he's a very cool guy. I really like him. Yeah,
yeah, he's hilarious.
yeah,
What's that nickname he has? El Guapo? Is that what it is?
yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's that he's just a very funny and likable guy.
exactly. And meanwhile, he's a killer.
Oh,
It's
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. He's so amazing. It's yeah. It's very good to watch him.
yeah, and he definitely perfected the palm strike when he back in the shoot days.
Shotai, Shuto,
Man,
everything. Yeah, it's lovely.
amazing
Yeah,
damage that guy did with those hands.
yeah. It's a
Uh, did,
fantastic guy. Yeah.
I guess did you hear what John Jones this past weekend?
Yeah. That's the problem. It's just that he's got so much going on in his head, which he just can't. He just can't get over that. But in the octagon, he's a monster. He's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, he's the
He's
goat for sure. He's the goat.
it's yeah.
But yeah, I was so disappointed because every time he comes out of something like that, you're thinking this time he's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, I was actually talking about with a friend of mine. I was like, "Oh, we haven't heard a lot of, Jones getting in trouble." And then a few
But
weeks after that, there he is again. It's too bad because he's amazing. But I have that same thing with Badr, the kickboxer from
oh
Holland,
yeah.
Morocco. He's amazing as well. I had a few training sessions of him,
Oh wow.
and what a fantastic guy inside kickboxing.
Yeah.
But everything he did outside is just it's not good for the sport, and it's not good for the for the way martial arts is in the media. But it's just those guys are so good in what they do.
Yeah, I
I
know.
just love that.
That's why I'm always torn with McGregor. I mean, I would have to say McGregor's probably my favorite fighter, and I'm an Irish boy, so always he's a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
fan. But yeah, I'm always torn. Like I'm so entertained by him, but then some stuff he does, I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah, better don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
I
seems
know
like in
what you mean.
the last year though, things I don't know, he seems a little different. So I'm hoping it stays on that track. Maybe he's still got good trash talk and stuff, but he's just I don't know, he seems not to cross that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, I kind of like the respectful way he was going at Cerrone
Yeah.
the last time. I kind of like that about him, especially because he won the fight as well. Because
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this Mr. Nice Guy isn't going to work for him, and then he's gonna get a beating. But fortunately, he didn't. So that was very good.
What'd you think of that shoulder?
It's crazy. Yeah, I was like, that's some things you just don't see, and that means you've been having a very smart preparation. Not being
But do you think
not doing what everybody does it.
but do you think he was preparing using a
I,
shoulder ever? Like, or is it just something that naturally came to him
no, I
in that
honestly
moment?
I honestly think he's been preparing stuff like that because
Hmm.
because
He's very
you know
unorthodox.
Yeah, and it's something you've never seen if you've never used it before, you can't use it in that way. So I do believe it's something he used in his preparation. And if you look at all older fits of McGregor fighting, you see he uses a lot which he uses during the fight.
Yeah.
When he was
Yeah.
fighting Alvarez with the hands on the back, there's
Yeah.
been so many videos of him training with the hands on the back and stuff like that. So it's just yeah, it must have been a preparation thing.
It was pretty wild to watch. I was with my buddy watching it, and when we saw it going down, we were just losing our minds.
Yeah,
It
it's
was,
crazy.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you ever dabbled in any grappling or wrestling?
yeah. I've trained I think maybe 2 or 3 years of MMA. I
Oh,
really liked it. Yeah, I
yeah.
really liked it, and I was always thinking maybe I should just compete in it once, just to see how it feels and to be in there.
Hmm.
But then I got the big knee injury, and then
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to do it anymore. Just time wise, I just couldn't find the time anymore after that to go and train MMA. But Yeah, I really enjoyed my time in doing that, and it's a very different but very tactical game as well, and that's you know that's why I love the fighting game, because it's like chess. You always have
Yeah.
to think a few steps further than your opponent, and it's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. What about, do you follow Kudo at all?
Yeah. No, don't like I don't watch it daily,
No, no,
but
but you, yeah.
yeah, I love to watch a fair few of those fights. The problem, the only thing I see a lot in people doing something different than karate, or if something's like kudo and stuff like that, then the focus is going to be somewhere else. If you look at the senshi fights right now, like the kickboxing fights in karate gi, you don't see a lot of tactics which are used in normal karate fights.
Mm.
They can now punch to the face, so that's the only thing they're doing. They can now grab, so that's the only thing they're doing, and that's too bad, because it kind of loses the beauty of the sport we're doing.
Mm. Yeah. What about, do you do any in your own dojo in terms of any kind of grappling or anything of that nature?
Um, no, no, just exercises which are strengthening the body. So
Right.
yeah, like some grappling exercises, or some exercises on the floor which strengthens your body a little bit more, or maybe your arm muscles or chest muscles.
Mm.
But we don't do a lot of grappling.
Mm.
Uh, None, to be fair.
And in training, and even for yourself, but maybe for your students as well, do you focus mostly on like calisthenic body weight type of stuff, or do you incorporate weights and kettlebells or anything else into your training?
We do both. To be fair, I try to always think of the body posture we are in when we're
Mm.
fighting. So a lot of the exercises we all know from back in the days, like doing 100 crunches or
Yeah.
100 push-ups and stuff like that, it doesn't always work. Obviously you have to do it, but there's so much more you can do. So we try to do a lot of body weight exercises, sometimes do some kettlebells or just light weights to do punching and kicking with. Resistance bands always
Yeah.
work very good. I love training with resistance bands.
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
it's amazing because it really gets your explosiveness.
Yeah.
It gets it up. It makes you feel how to properly throw a technique instead of just whacking one out.
Mm.
So yeah, I try to do some more modern way of training
Mm.
instead of the old school. Let's do 500 push-ups and stuff.
Yeah. I think there's a time and place for everything, and I think yeah, to your point, like, we have to do that portion of it, but yeah, the more modern approaches for sure, definitely you're seeing it seep into Kyokushin and other karate styles as well. Yeah, and even that alone too, you see, or at least I'm seeing now a lot of guys who are guys and gals who are taking more of the sport karate aspects and putting it into Kyokushin, where you get that more blitz in and out kind of movement, and it's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, yeah, we try to do that because since of October I've been one of the coaches for the Dutch team as well,
Oh, great.
with three others. Yeah, and we've been really trying to focus on like more modern aspects of training, and
Mm,
all the things the guys been doing is great because it got them to the point where they are right now. But yeah, trying to do some other stuff and maybe do something crazy, or go out a day and not training karate gi, or just do a session of badminton for the footwork, or
yes.
all of those kind of things. We just try to blend it in the team so we don't have the same similar style with everybody, but everybody is their own person, so they should fight in a different way as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how's it being received? Like, are people liking that type of training?
Yeah, yeah, we got a we get so many positive reactions. It's amazing. And the thing is, we've been seeing a lot of people do other things on tournaments, do other things in trainings, trying to be creative at some moments, and that's amazing because that's the evolution you want to see.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, it's a very positive reaction, and even by all of the teachers as well within the organization. They're like, oh, it's really good to see to see that our students are getting better every time. So yeah.
And for spectators too, it's a more dynamic match to watch when people are of that ilk and they're able to demonstrate that kind of unorthodox style.
Yeah, I've always tried to be entertaining for people because
Yeah,
it's I've always said that a lot of people will recognize fighters who've been entertaining for them,
yes,
and maybe you've never been a world champion or maybe you've never been a European champion, but you've been entertaining, so people will buy a ticket for that, or they will be like, "Oh,
absolutely.
I saw him fight last year and he was amazing." So that's when people know who you are. Because
Yeah,
I couldn't say who was the European champion in the middleweights in '89. I wouldn't know,
hmm.
but I do know a fair few fighters from out of those days, which I've always been looking up to, and I always try to be that person for everybody who was watching karate or being spectator in karate.
Well, I could tell you are now because this week, like I said, I saw your videos and I started sharing them to some friends privately. I'm like, God, have you guys seen this guy? Like, you're a pleasure to watch. It's really beautiful matches. Your kicks are unbelievable. Your foot movement, everything, the way you set stuff up. I was going to name some favorites that I saw, and there was just too many. It was just too many. I was like even watching a match this morning where you took the win with a Yushiro to the liver of somebody. It was a spinning back kick to the liver, and it was just the way it was placed. It was just beautiful. So
Thank you.
you definitely fall into that. Yeah, very
Yeah,
entertaining to watch.
thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing because that's the way you want to be remembered. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's just yeah, it's great to win tournament, and obviously I I've never been a world champ, which was always a dream of me. But on the other hand, people now know me,
Yeah,
and that's
I know you
because of
even more
my
now.
style, and even more after today. So thank you for that.
People go check this guy out.
Yeah,
It's
that's
amazing.
fantastic. It's yeah, it's just it's good to be remembered like that, and that people will be like, oh, let's try and get this guy to come teach at a session or something. It's just share the passion. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I want to get into that in a sec as well with the stuff you're doing with Darren. But one of the things I was going to ask you about, but now I don't even think there's going to be an answer for it because I wanted to get your advice and stuff on kicking. Your kicks are just incredible, especially like the Shiros you were doing, stuff that I've been seeing in your videos lately. But I'm thinking you've been doing this since you were 5 years old, so it's probably a difficult thing. You've been doing it forever. Are you able to break down like how to do, I don't know how to do. I'm lost for words myself what I'm trying to say here. Like one of the most difficult kicks, and I brought this up with Darren, for a lot of people, even if they're flexible, is it just a yokogiri, like a
Hmm.
good side kick, especially Jodan. And they might be super flexible. And it seems to be more with mechanics, maybe where they're putting their pelvis and things of that nature. Are you able to translate that to folks when you're with them?
Yeah. Although it's probably one of the most hardest kicks
Mm.
to learn in a proper way, but if you, I've always been watching Van Damme,
I
Jean-Claude
was
Van
just
Damme.
gonna say, yeah.
His yokogiris were amazing, and the way he just puts his foot. That's where it's all starting, where he puts the foot where his weight is on, and the way it's turned, the way he kind of brings it back to Surashidashi and the
Yep.
way he uses his body, open up the hips, uses the muscles in the bum to kick out. The tensor is a very important muscle
Hmm.
with the yokogiri because there's a lot of tension in there, and the higher you get, the more tension there's going to be on the tensor, so the muscle on the side of your hip, and it's just to do it properly. Start off as low as you can. So start off with a concept sugiri and do it properly, but also train all the muscles on the legs that you're using, and not only doing squats, not only doing flexibility things, because that's what a lot of people do. I wanna be a great kicker, so I'll do 500 squats. It's probably not going to help you. It's just
Yeah.
it's all of the tiny bits, all of the little bits you have to work on. And yes, it's power. Yes, it's flexibility. Yes, it's maybe some sort of a nature in the way your body does it, and the way your body reacts to it. But it's everything is trainable if you don't have any big injuries, which will won't allow you to do it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that and focused on that, especially around those small muscles, because you're right. I see a lot of, even myself, I see a lot of people who do only just concentrate on splits or
Yeah.
flexibility. Well, that's fine, but if you don't have the strength to lift your leg up, that's not going to get
It's
you
not going to
far.
happen. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And if you look at Darren, he's a lot more flexible than I am.
Hmm.
In a passive way.
Hmm.
He can do splits and to the side, to the front, stuff like that. I can't do that. I just my body doesn't work like that.
Hmm.
But I can do a proper Yokogiri Jodan, and that's
Right.
all because all of the muscles are just being thinking of it while I'm training it, and just adjusting it to, all right, when I stand like this, what do I feel there? When I stand like this, what do I feel there? And all those small pieces will make it better.
And those can be the hardest muscles to train. I mean, it's you know physically demanding to do a squat, but it's an easy compound exercise when you're trying to train those small muscles, as you were alluding to, around the pelvis, around the butt, into the groin. It can be very difficult, and those muscles burn out quite quickly. Do you
Yeah.
have any specific exercises or advice around things to train around there?
Just various ways of squats, lunges. Do it in combination. So if after you've done a fair few of these exercises, try to do some stretching to just widen up the area to move in,
Hmm.
and just I've always think you have to do a lot of the kicks just to get the feeling.
Yeah.
Your body needs to get used to kicking to the side. So if you can do it properly, Gedan, just turn it up a little bit. Just go a little bit higher every time you do it, and don't be scared to do it a lot, because you got to work hard for it to do it.
Yeah.
But hopefully that kind of answers your question
No, it
on.
does absolutely, and that's a good segue then to what the stuff that you are doing with Darren with the karate tips and tricks. So Darren talked about a little bit how it came together, but from your perspective, how did that all work out?
Yeah, well, we kind of talk every day. That's the easy
Uh,
thing with WhatsApp, and
yeah.
we've been training for a fair few years together now. And every time, when he's in Holland or when I'm in the UK, we always hang out together and stuff like that. So we've always kind of talked about, all right, well, it would be pretty cool to do something together, but there's a lot of time in there. You have to be involved with it, and then this type of thing with the whole Corona thing kind of made it easy to take some time for it. So he's like, should we just try and do something? And then we both like, yeah, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. How do you think about this? And how do you think about that? And then we're like 2 hours later, and we're like, oh, this is a pretty good idea. So maybe maybe we should just do it. And then we started off, and I made some videos while training. He made some videos while training, and then we were putting it together. And we were like, "Oh, this looks pretty good. So what's the ideas on this?" So it kind of made it happen just by talking about it. So yeah, it's a very cool thing. It's a very thankful thing to do, because I've been seeing a lot of people liking it,
Yeah.
sharing it, doing it, trying it, and
Yeah.
that's amazing. It's amazing to do this for people.
Well, that's the thing that it really drew me to them. Like, so to your point, like because this whole Corona thing, we are all stuck at home, and now everybody is putting out training videos or classes at home. But what you guys were doing was very unique. I really liked it in the way that you're breaking things down, and I love the style going back and forth. And you guys complement each other so well. So yeah, that's why I was really drawn to it immediately. It was
Well,
really cool.
that's well. At first, thank you for the compliments. I'm very glad that you like it. But that's what we said to each other as well. It's like, yeah, all of the people, a lot of people are doing online trainings, and here's my
Classes.
blog and classes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was just like, well, we shouldn't do this just for now. We should do
Yeah.
this. We should do this for, like, in a longer way. So we were at first we were still thinking, is this the right timing to do it? Because with so many people throwing stuff on social media and stuff. But then the ideas we had and the various methods of looking at it and the karate vision we both share made it the right timing to just do it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, there is a lot of stuff out there, but that's, I don't mind that. I mean, content is great. Now there's so many resources for people to see stuff. And as they say, the cream rises to the top, right? So the videos and the people out there that have really special things to offer, people will see it. And that's why I thought what you guys were doing was so special. Who's actually putting it, editing it, and put it together?
Darren.
Oh, is he?
That's all Darren. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
was going to guess you actually.
No, man, no. He's a lot better in that. I've, I don't have the patience for that. I just get annoyed quite easily. So if it doesn't work, it's the last time with the two parts of the sushi. It's just like the videos were too big to send it by WhatsApp and stuff like that. We're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
oh man, this is so annoying.
yeah.
But he really figures it out to make it properly and stuff like that. So
So what do you do
yeah,
now? Do you upload it to a cloud somewhere and he downloads it, or are you still using WhatsApp to send it across?
we use WhatsApp or email
Yeah,
most of the time, and he just edits the videos, and we kind of chit chat all around. Like, all right, I'm gonna say this, you're gonna say that. I do most of the text stuff. I just
yeah.
send it to him. It's like, is that all right for you? Yeah, yeah, all good, and then just just post it up. So yeah, and that's the way the friendship is as well, and that's all because of karate. So that's what I said earlier
Right.
on. It's all because of karate that we are doing this and that we're friends like this. And I want my students from Hokori Meiyo, from my club, to do the same. And I want them to know that there is not one secret within karate, because everything has probably been done by someone else. Um, just share the passion, have fun, and enjoy what we're doing, because that's probably the most energy you will get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I mean, it's karate is this thing that I feel like anywhere I go in the world, I have a friend, I know someone, and if I don't, I know them somehow through social media or something. I can drop in and say hi, or whatever the case may be, and it's
It's
it's it's so unique,
It's
and I mean,
fantastic. Yeah,
yeah,
it's fantastic. If someone sees the kanji, it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's everything.
yeah,
One of my students, he went to Japan at the end of 19.
yeah,
He just went to Japan to visit the country, and then at that time there was the IKL One World Championships, and he didn't even knew he's just a red belt. He just
yeah.
likes to train and stuff like that. So he was in the airplane from Tokyo to, I think it was Amsterdam, and there was a Spanish guy. He came up to him. He's like, "Hey, you're wearing the kanji." So he was wearing a karate shirt, and then he was like, "Yeah. I do karate." And they had a little bit of chit chat. He's like, "Yeah. Where do you train?" "Yeah, in Holland," and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, Holland. Do you know Wesley?" And
Yeah.
then my student, he was like, "Yeah, that's my sensei." And then it's just, it's so unique, because you don't have that in kickboxing, you don't have that in MMA, you don't have that in football or in tennis. It's just people see the kanji, people immediately feel like family.
Yeah, it's amazing camaraderie. And also respect too. I even get that one. I remember one time, so at my work we have casual Fridays,
Hmm.
where we can, whatever, you just go to work. So I was wearing a Kyokushin shirt, or had the kanji on it. So we went out for lunch, me and my team, and this Japanese lady comes up to me, and she's like, "Us," and she's very like very thick accent. And so she obviously recognized the kanji, but she was actually she was a third dan in another system of karate, and she was just in Toronto on business, but saw the kanji and just wanted to say hi and stuff, just to introduce herself and stuff. I was just, it was really blown
It's
away.
fantastic, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah. And your colleagues were probably like,
yeah, exactly. They're
what do
like,
you know her from, you know? And
yeah,
that's lovely. I had that once as well. I have the kanji tattooed on my leg, so I was
yeah,
walking, don't even know where I was, but I was walking around in shorts, and then this guy came up to me. He's like, "Oosh!" I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
how do you know?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm wearing shorts now, so that's why that's why you probably saw it." But it's
Yeah.
just it's amazing to what that one sign can just achieve across the world.
Unbelievable. And even for myself, I think that's part of the reason that drew me into it as well. Just, I knew that respect. Yeah, there's even another story I remember quite a few years ago. I was with a friend, and she had a son, and he was doing Goju-Ryu, I believe, or it was Goju or Shotokan. And so he was in this park, and he was working on his kata. This is a little guy. He's like 8 years old. So he's doing his kata, and he wanted some tips from me, and I'm showing him. And as I'm showing him, this guy comes up to me, and he goes, "Oh, you're stepping wrong." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Because the feet should, do this
Hmm.
sweep." And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no. I understand he does, but in my style, we go straight." He's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, Kyokushin." He's, "Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry." He starts
That's fantastic.
apologizing and stuff. And I'm like, "No, no, man. This is just a different
Yeah.
style and stuff." But he's like, "Yeah, but Kyokushin is, yeah, it's the amazing respect that it gets. It still gets. It's really cool."
Yeah, it's crazy. And then especially when you're at in Japan, when you're in Japan, it's even more extreme because it's like heaven over there doing Kyokushin. I've had the pleasure to go there a few times, and then the things that happen there is, man, you can't.
Do tell.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I was for Sokyokushin, I went there for a tournament, and then this guy, he's a Shian from Sokyokushin. He's a Monna Shian. He's an amazing guy, amazing kicker, and
Yeah.
I shared a video of me and him sparring in the Dutch camp a few years ago.
Oh, I want to look that up.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and that guy, he was so respectful. And then I was there. I was like, okay, I've done my tournament, and we're just now gonna hang out a few days. And he was gonna show us to where he lives. And I was thinking, all right, that's great. I can do some training in Japan. You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I'm here now after all these years. I would love to train. And then at every dojo we came, and he had like 8 or 10 dojos, I think he had. And he was like, "Oh, please teach us." Like, no, because I'm in Japan, I want to train. No, 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 please teach us. And it's like you're a superstar over there, you know. People see you fight in a tournament, and a very different style to what most of the Japanese will show.
Mm,
And they went crazy on that. So I felt like a superstar over there and teaching in all these Japanese dojos.
that is
That
so
was
cool.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, that was amazing. And at that same trip, I've met Sheehan Cameron Quinn, and he was like,
Yes.
"Oh, it's an IFK style you've had there." So
Really? He knew that?
yeah, yeah, he was like, we got to chat with each other, and I think it was the sayonara party after the tournament. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, I can see that you've been raised in the IFK system, the way you move, the way you fight, and stuff like that." So that was very cool.
Good eye.
I had a very, very good chat with him, and then afterwards we had all these visits to the dojo where I was teaching. That was amazing. It's a very, very good memory for me.
Yeah, I bet. It's one thing that I haven't gotten to do, and I really, yeah, it's definitely on the bucket list. I need to go there. I mean, I guess every Kyokushin guy wants to do it eventually. How often have you gone now?
I've been there twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get a chance to go to Hombu Dojo or to Sosai's
Uh,
monument?
yeah, I've been to the monument.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to go to the humble because of all the politics
Yeah.
which go on in Japan. But it was to be at Sosai's grave was
Yeah.
something every karateka should do, and especially with the like the temple where it's near it's like an amazing temple, and it's like something like karate holy karate ground, I think it is. So yeah, I've been there.
Oh, getting goosebumps there.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's amazing to go there and be in the country where it all started, and be respected by that, because you know we were there for like the big tournament, and it was Tokyo Narita was the airport, and there were people there with like a camera and from TV. So for some reason, obviously they see you wear a kanji in the tracksuit you wear, and they'll be like, "Oh, we want to interview you, and you just landed," and people are interviewing there, and I've never had that before in Holland, because in Holland it's like, "Oh, you do karate? Is that breaking wood?" Stuff like that. So so it's very funny, and in Japan everybody knows what you do, so it's something very cool.
I hope
I think you should you should make it happen.
I will. Oh gosh, it's 3-4 years ago. An opportunity got missed. I was actually going to go to train with Kazumi, and I was going to stay and train at his dojo for a month. And the whole idea was going to do this, basically interview him and do some training and stuff with him. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. So I'm still hoping. The only thing is, I'm getting up there. You're only 30. I've got 20 years on you. So I turned 50 in May. So I don't know. I'm still active, and I still obviously train a lot. But I feel it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the people take really good care of you there. So there's plenty of time to go to the onsen and just go to the hot water baths and stuff like that. So they do make that, and that's the fantastic thing about Japan, because we do it in a different way as they do it, and if you just go there and show your karate, they will be very respectful about that. So
Really?
See,
I thought it'd be the opposite. You'd go there and they'd be like, "Ugh, gaijin."
My experience was something different, but I can't tell about any other experience. But my experience was that they were very, very respectful about the way we do karate and the way we live for it and the way we look at it. Because the old school stories were like that, like, "Oh, what are you gonna do here with that white boy? You're not a you're not a Jap. Let's go. Come on, we're better than that." But I think times have changed over there as well. So it's fantastic to go. I just it's amazing.
You think you'll go again?
Yeah, I would love to go again. I wouldn't go there to fight anymore, but obviously I'm retired as well. But it's
just culturally to take it in.
Yeah, and just to train there and just to teach there is amazing, because they really love karate.
Yeah, there's another guy I follow a lot, not Kyokushin, actually, from Shotokan, Sensei Andre Pertel. Not sure if you're familiar with him, but he is KWF Shotokan. I believe he's KWF. Whatever. Like us, there's so many organizations. But he's been living in Japan for I don't know how long. Has his own dojo there, which is a big deal. Again, as a Westerner going there and having a dojo where the Japanese actually respect you enough that they're going to take lessons from you. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
So do you have any further aspirations for Kyokushin? Not necessarily in tournaments or whatever, but we did allude to a little at the beginning. Your kata competition may not be over.
Yeah, I might do that. Yeah. Kata, you can do kata for years. So I might just do that as well. I would love to be. I'm one of the Dutch coaches right now, and I'm getting a lot of energy from that. I really, really love to do that, and I just like to travel abroad to teach and to share my vision and my way of karate to other people, and just go there with all of my fighters and just show them show them what karate has given to me. So that's my biggest aspiration, and I think I'm doing that already. So I'm kind of living the dream, but going out with my fighters and going out with my students and show them what karate can give them. That's amazing.
You got to come across the pond. You got to travel over here.
I would love to. I would love to. I would love to. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of places I would love to go, but Canada is certainly one of them. Seeing Niagara Falls would be very, very good. Apparently, it's lovely to see it. So no, yeah, it's definitely one of the dreams to do.
Yeah, I would love to see it too. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it here if we ever get to travel ever again. So
Yeah. I'm not going to book it right now if you don't mind.
oh my God. On that note, actually, how is all this stuff? So is your dojo still open right now, or are you guys closed down?
No, we closed down, and
Yeah.
in Holland we do kind of the way they say it, it's like an intelligent lockdown. So people do get out. The people can get out to do some grocery shopping and stuff like that. And you
So
can
you don't
just
have a
normally
mandatory?
no.
Oh,
But they
interesting.
do say you don't get to be in public places with three or more people.
Right.
Um, and obviously, everybody works from home. A lot of people just can't do their normal daily job. All dojos, all sports activities are closed down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to give some sessions by Zoom and just stay in contact with people.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for this stuff. It's affecting so many people. There's a lot of dojo owners where it's their livelihood. It's their only source of income,
Yeah.
and
It's very hard at that time because
it's brutal.
if you got to think about that, then if you've got to pay the mortgage out of karate or out of your dojo, it's horrific. And then hopefully all of the people will support their dojo, and that's
Yeah.
something we try to
Yeah.
try to show at KRT Karate Tips and Tricks, to just do what we do and try to enjoy. Outside of the dojo to train and do karate, but also to support your club, support your dojo, and be there for them as they are always there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now more than ever. Yeah. So if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about you, what's the best way or the easiest way?
Facebook,
Facebook. Yeah.
yeah, Facebook, Instagram is two very great mediums to get in contact.
And you do seminars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We're gonna do a seminar in Holland. I think in August, if everything allows us to do as well.
Mm.
Me and Darren, we were invited as guests last year in Hungary just to train and enjoy karate and to teach as well. But yeah, definitely, I'm up for it to go abroad and teach and just have fun.
This has been really, really cool. This is one of the best conversations I've had. It's
Thank you.
awesome.
Well, that says a lot because, man, you've got some names before me, man. So
Yeah, but it's
I
no,
was kind of nervous when I saw all the names who were on there. I was like, oh my God, am I really going after Judd Reed, after Cameron Quinn, after Terry Burkett, Tom Callahan, Darren Stringer? I'm just like, I'm gotta step up my A game there.
Nah, at the end of the day, we're all just people, man. We all just put our pants on the same way. Yeah, and it's been really, really good. I really, really appreciate it. Any message or anything you want to give anyone? Any final words? Any
So many,
words of
no.
wisdom you want to pass on?
Just no.
Not to be put you on the spot.
I really, really want to thank you for the thing you're doing, for making karate great and keeping karate great by just sharing it all across the world. And the thing is, I really want people to do what we do because
Yeah.
it's a lovely passion. It's something that really will help you out in good or in bad times. And just. Whenever somebody's in Holland, please come by. Just let me know. We're gonna have a good session together.
Oh yeah, and what's the name of your dojo?
Hokori Meiyo. It means honor and proud, and that's
Yes.
how I've always been looking at karate. So it was quite funny because I had to start the dojo out of a little bit of political situation, and then I was thinking of a name, and I was like, yeah, I don't have to think long for this. I only had to get the kanji for it, and then just let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this. I hope I didn't eat too much of your time. I know we went quite long, but it was just a good conversation. I just
Yeah, yeah.
wanted to
I
give.
really loved it. So no problem. Thank you for having me again, and I hope to see you and all of the followers in a very healthy way.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll meet in person someday, guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a pint for sure.
Thank you. I don't drink alcohol, so I'll take a Coke, but that's all right.
That's fine. All right, thank you so much. It was
Us,
all
thank you,
right.
my friend.
See you, buddy.
Us.